And the sacrifice of love. That's what, yeah. So it's your
That's a
system when
crown.
it's the AC, so it's kind of like the song, but not really.
And that's how we begin this episode of Talking with Famous People. My name is host Eric, and I want to thank Ken for that lovely serenade. It was absolutely beautiful.
No problem.
In this episode of Talking with Famous People, I suggest that we talk about something I was thinking about in the car today, which is the privacy issue. Because I was talking with my INTP real life friend Matt. We went to lunch. We went to uh, a steakhouse and had a nice lunch. And he's putting out my records, like a Miedlin of records. What that actually the real work that's being accomplished is he's making it all legal and official. Like he registered me for what, like one of those publishing union things or whatever. Like I don't know. And I don't know all the details, but the fact is, it's like he's got it set up so that I'm on Spotify and shit like that, you know?
Oh.
So, anyway, I was very happy with the last thing that he did, he put together, which I wasn't expecting him to put together something outside of the two albums. So we went to lunch, it was a pretty good mood and everything. Um, and as we were driving away, we started talking about the issue of privacy because I had made one of my normal bold blanket statements about things that, you know, I tend, like, policy is bad. I mean, privacy is totally bad and stupid, and everybody should stop having it. You know, like one of those kind of statements as usual. So he took exception to it. Then I had to backpedal and sweep around and try to still win without without actually having to stay on my original thesis. Anyway, the point that he was making, which is interesting for an INTP, and he's a very intuitive INTP. He's very NE heavy over TI compared to most INTPs, but he acts the same as other INTPs socially. Like he's quiet and he just, you know, he only says something when it's it's been vetted in his head a lot. But his point about the whole issue of privacy and whether or not it's a good or a bad thing is that it doesn't matter at all. It ultimately doesn't matter. Those sort of statements are meaningless. That uh, people are going to do what they want to do, and that such statements always boil down to other people should be more like me. So I don't actually think that's correct, but I think it's a very good argument. And the gist of it is that when we talk about values and we try to prioritize one given value over some other value, that it doesn't really matter because individuals behave motivated by different sorts of reasons than that. But my argument to him was that the people behave according to different motivations, and that's fine. But the four choices they're deciding between are defined by where the public discourse is at. So if they don't like gay people, they're not going to argue against homosexuality by saying those people are engaged in wanton, horrible crimes and should be arrested and put in jail, right? Not anymore. They're not going to say those people are mentally ill because those states of narrative prematurity have been dispatched with. They lost, those arguments lost. They couldn't hold any water. They had too steep a rhetorical hill to climb. And that in the end, now if you hate gay people, you're right. People will still hate gay people, even though the discourse has changed. But they hate them in different ways. They say you're offending God, or you're depraved, or um, gay people just want to have sex with as many people as possible, or stuff like that. In that instance, you might mistakenly conclude that discourse hasn't changed anything for those people, but it absolutely has because they're being wrong in less bad ways now. So I thought I'd throw that idea out there because actually I felt like Matt won the debate in the car. I guess is why I brought it up. I was like, but I should have won that debate. But it was sort of, I sort of just stopped talking about it because I didn't want to. I was trying to be cool. I was trying to be very. Trying to be a good friend, you know, like listen a lot and not be so arrogant. Anyway, so any thoughts on those points I just said, or about how I was, I guess, demonstrating the behavior of not being like that? I don't know.
Um, yeah, it's like, yeah, this is like one of those rare examples. I mean, not necessarily rare, but whatever. It's a rare example of you FE dancing, is what it sounds like. Um,
Well, I consciously chose to drop it and change subject,
yeah.
which I don't
Okay, so
normally
it was
do.
a subject change. Um,
Yeah,
so
I
you're
mean,
going to be a good friend, but the thing is, I guess now, do you still think that that was the friendly thing to do? I guess not friendly in terms of nice, but being a good friend, that it was the best thing that you dropped the topic instead of hammering your points.
in this instance, yes, because I felt as though he was conveying to me that he finds such stuff tiresome, and so um, you know, it's one thing to if I were getting from him like you're super wrong, Eric, and I can't admit that. I can't admit the fact that I think that you're super wrong to myself, that I'm actually wrong or something like that. Then I would maybe respond to it differently. But basically, the vibe I was getting from him was you're wrong because that's boring, you know. And so I was like, okay, fine, then let's not talk about it. But I didn't say that explicitly. None of that stuff was said out loud. It just felt like you know, that side of me rubs people very wrong. When I was talking with him about Corey too today, because he knows Corey too, and without saying it, we talk. I mean, he talked about that a little bit and basically said, because you know how you were just saying right now, because I just finished like a mini rant where it was just like, you know, maybe somebody cut me off or whatever, and I was just like, fucking blah 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 blah. Blah. And he's like, you know that thing you just did where you like yell at people and shit? And I'm like, yeah. What? Well, and I'm like, well, so I mean, I don't know. What are you gonna do about it? Sometimes you just have to forsake some outcomes in favor of others, I guess, and sometimes I have to forsake the other ones in favor too.
Yeah. See, I don't know. Because I wasn't in that exact situation, I don't know how I would handle it. But to me, it almost seems like maybe it's because you're more used to arguing a point probably more often than I am. I find that I'm kind of at the opposite end where I feel like I take enough time not arguing a point. So my then thinking is if somebody's like, well, I don't really want to talk about that, I'm like, well, too bad, you know. Um, I don't sort of push it, but understandably, we kind of are somewhat flipped in that way, I think. Um,
Uh,
but what's
LC,
that?
what do you mean? What do you mean by are people uncomfortable today? I actually am feeling a little uncomfortable physically. I my shoulders kind of hurting. My back's kind of hurting. I kind of got a headache. I got some Tylenol here. I'm gonna take it. I think one of the problems I'm having right now, because I've not been feeling well today, or really yesterday either, is I have a super infected tooth, and I should go to the dentist to get it extracted. I think it's dead. I keep expecting it to fall out.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, sometimes I'll try to bite onto it, and it'll break a little more piece of the tooth off. Hopefully, is my
Oh
thought.
my gosh. That is horrible.
I could probably get it out with a doorknob and the string technique.
Oh my goodness. Take care of your mouth.
Yeah, I know.
Gargle with peroxide.
So
It'll
wait,
help.
yeah, you know what? I will do that, JC. You and I both are down with the peroxide. I like that.
Yeah.
It the thing about tooth infections and toothaches and stuff. I have terrible teeth, and I've had them a lot. I had one in China. The problem with the one in China was they don't have Tylenol in China. You can't get it
Mm.
anywhere. You can't get Tylenol. You can't get aspirin, and you can't get ibuprofen. And so you just suffer, and you're supposed to go get Chinese medicine. Oh, toothache. You need rub this leaf on chin. Now eat this soup. There, you're all better. No, I'm not. Um, so, uh, but Elsie, I want to follow up on that. Were you saying, like, did you ask that question because you thought I physically looked uncomfortable, or because you just felt a vibe in the room of discomfort, or was it just sort of a provocative question to throw out there and see what happens? Yeah, we're recording. The only people you can see are me and Ken. Nobody else is on camera at the moment. You were like, huh? That's not very informative response, frankly. But I
That's
like
not
it. I like it. All right, how about you, host Ken? Are you uncomfortable today?
I'm actually having to think about it. I don't think in
Let's
any
see.
major way. I think I'm probably gonna eat something in a little bit, but other than that, no.
How about you, JC? You're uncomfortable because of the cold, I remember.
Yeah.
How about
But I
metaphysically?
mean,
Are you metaphysically uncomfortable because of the dramatic changes in your life?
um, eh, not really. I'm okay for now.
Would more cheese help?
What?
Would more cheese help?
Cheese would probably make me break out so bad right now.
In laughter?
Break out on my skin and rashes.
Oh, in rashes. Well, that's almost as good as
Yeah.
laughter.
I mean, I haven't eaten it in so long, and it already did things that were nice to my skin. So
I
I
see.
have eaten it so
You can
long,
stop.
it would do horrible things to me.
Saren, how about you? Are you feeling comfortable, uncomfortable, or evaluating yourself on some other metric? Carolyn, would you like to chime in on this? Aaron, I know you have a camera. Would you like to join in on the camera side of things? It's a little saucy over here on the camera side of things, but you're encouraged to join. I think it's fair to say I'm somewhat metaphysically uncomfortable right now, too. I don't like conflicts, believe it or not. I've had a couple things weighing on me metaphysically, namely yelling at Natalie's mom. Now, the reason Natalie's mom was calling me was because last time I talked to Natalie's dad, I screamed at Natalie's dad. and he got really mad at me. So now, just the mom called me. Well, last night I screamed at Natalie's mom. Those parents are so difficult, though. Anyway, the point is, that makes me feel metaphysically uncomfortable because it's like, I know those people are going, I don't know what to do with this man. He's awful. But on the other hand, Natalie likes him, and whatever. I don't like the fact that that conversation has to be even had. That they're trying to figure out what to do, right? There shouldn't be anything they need to figure out. They should just be, she should be locked in on my team. We should all be happy. There's no reason for anybody to be unhappy, but I yelled at them too much. And so now they have a bunch of like cards to play that they shouldn't even have any cards to play.
So are they fighting with you regarding the way that you're teaching them? Or are they fighting you that you're yelling at the kids? Just
No, they're not fighting me. They're bugging me and I'm yelling at them.
yeah, but
They're bugging me about who their kid's partner is and stuff like that, right? Like,
yeah, miscellaneous stupid shit.
they want me to, and they want to sort of involve themselves in the partner selecting process. They want to be like, well, who's her partner?
How do you do that? Do you separate them out or like join up by types or not? Like who would benefit or bring out the other aspects of the BTI with them? Or?
Well, here's the thing about tournament participation and partnerships, is you have a partner for a tournament. This is what I try to explain to the parents too. They see some of the strongest teams usually have found their partner, locked in with them, and they stay together. And so they say, oh, well, I want that for my kid. And I say, you'll have that for your kid when I find the right partner for them. This is a long process. I got those guys when they were 6th graders. They've been through this process. When they were 6th graders, they were bouncing between partners too. The other thing is, I don't know exactly who's going until you guys all give me your checks to pay for the tournament, right? Now I know for real who's going, and because you paid for it. So once you guys have all paid for it, then I say, oh, I've got 9 kids. Sorry, Joe, you can't go. Or what I actually do, which is call the kids who said they can't go already and say, come on, please, 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 and until I get another partner. Now, who are the partners for those? Well, I usually do it simply like this. I just go best 2, next best 2, next best 2, next best 2. And that usually correlates with experience. Sometimes I'll modify that according to grade. I'd like to put people in the same grade together. But this year it's so nice. It's the most wonderful thing ever. Mingyu and Edmund and Evelyn are basically doing my assistant coach's job, right? They're making memos for me for the tournaments. They're registering. They said, don't worry about it. We'll take care of the registration. Don't worry about it. Just give me your login information, stuff like that. They're so good to me. They're so kind to me, right? Because I hate doing that stuff so much. I hate it. And that's why those parents get yelled at. They're pestering me with the same questions or slight variations thereof about precisely the aspect of the job that I hate the most. So I just end up losing my temper and yelling at them. I don't want to do that. That's why I'm carrying metaphysical baggage about it. It's like, that's not doing anybody any good. I'm not trying to fix those people. I don't want to fix those people. I want them to leave me alone. But I don't want to alienate them, too much, because Natalie's pretty good, and I don't care about whether her parents or anything, because I just want to keep Natalie. I just wish they would, yeah.
So in previous years, how many coaches did you have in your group?
First, I will answer in a second, but let me just, FYI, Saren, your volume level is super low. I can barely hear you.
Yeah. Second, I can turn it up.
Okay. So, last year like this year I have 2 assistant coaches too. I've got Justin and I've got Felix. But Felix is just doing the debate coaching part. He's not really functioning as a general assistant coach. And Justin is doing some assistant coach stuff, but he's doing, it's not really assistant coach stuff. I've got him doing the autonomy website shit and stuff like that. And I like what he did with it. I had to replace it with something more useful in the moment, which is I need to get those memos out. And the best way I have to get those memos out is to just here are the memos, the index of the whole website. That's how I go about doing it, because I don't want anybody to say I can't find them. I hate those questions. I hate that kind of shit. and I get it nonstop if I don't be like, there's only one thing on this page, the link to the memo. It's the home page. If you can't follow this instruction, I don't know what to tell you. What was I don't remember what the question was, but thank you for asking about it, Sarah, and I appreciate you asking questions like that.
Oh,
I love answering questions.
How many coaches do you have on your team right now?
Now I've got Justin. Justin's helping with policy. Felix is helping with everything.
What types are they?
Justin's ENFP. Felix is ENTP. Abraham, my right hand man last year, was ENFJ. And
Okay, see, that was a management guy.
he was a speech coach. And I actually had him in the sort of director position, right? But he really fucked up. That's what ended up happening. Not during work time, but at the end of the summer. It's like he didn't understand that summer was coming to an end, and the fact that we hadn't been working really for a couple months didn't mean that he should just give up on autonomy debate. It's summer, you know? That's why you haven't gotten it. I haven't gotten any work in such a long time because it's summer vacation. I know we didn't plan to have a summer vacation, but you and I both were there as we walked through this little partner switchy fiasco thing that we had. And you and I both know how San Marino fucking dropped the ball. You had stuff that you were dragging your feet on. I told you to do it. You dragged your feet. So that's why we don't have summer, okay? Multiple people fucked up, including me. But we don't have summer. We don't really need summer in theory. I know you were anticipating having it. But just because summer lasts a long time, like 3 months, doesn't mean by the end of the 3 months you should be more exacerbated by the fact that you didn't work in summer than at the beginning of the 3 months, right?
Yeah, you should have just got a part-time job or something.
Right.
Like,
He
should have dealt it with it by himself.
Right. So instead, what he did, which was really dumb, was he picked up a side job for the year, but it was on Wednesday, which is our lab day. He knows this, but he can't go to lab. So now he can't go to class on Wednesday. I said, well, okay, I can still get you here to do. I've got a couple of little things to do that I can do. Have speech people. We don't have many right now because, as you know, we just switched all these partners and we were way late in the year. And if it were anybody else than us, we'd have nobody, right? So, but I got a couple kids for you here, and it'll grow if we put a handle on it. He still was in this whole sort of like, see, now you don't have any work, blah blah blah. No, it's because you. And so then what he did is he just didn't show up. He was late the first week with his one speech kid, this new kid, right? Didn't show up the next week. He had texted me, hey, can you cover for me? But I didn't see the text after the class. That client was going to leave. All the other speech clients were going to leave. They had 2 more, 3 more. And in fact, 2 of them aren't doing speech anymore at all. So, but now I have to work Sunday morning to teach that fucking class with 2 kids in it, which I don't want to do. And I hate speech. I'm kind of enjoying coaching it this time. But the point is, he fucked up. He fucked up really badly at multiple occasions, cost me a lot of money, and just, I couldn't get through his thick head because TI is not a strong suit. So, but I still haven't excommunicated him or anything. In fact, I just told him, yeah, I'll hire you for a judge for this weekend. I want to actually ease him back into the heart of things. And
yeah, it's like.
I'm still paying his phone. I'm still paying his phone just because I'm not going to cut him off, you know?
What he should have done is got like a job that he can work full-time during the summer, but like during the school year or the fall, whenever your guys' debate's going, should have got a part-time job and then to have those specific times that he's going to work with you off. Like if you said Wednesday, it's on Wednesday when it's scheduled.
You think? You think? Yeah. I know. We had this conversation. It doesn't seem to. But you see, those points were in direct conflict with him feeling frustrated. So, unfortunately, those points don't seem to sink in.
Well, see, I think is he by himself or did he have kids and?
He's a kid himself. He's 18. He just graduated from high school. but he's a good coach. The thing is, that's one of my advantages that I take advantage of, is I hire people who don't have any of the symbols of competency, because you don't need any of them. They're completely worthless, and it gives me an advantage over everybody else. So I look for the good debaters who do not have any college degree, and maybe didn't even go to college, but
Right.
they're good debaters, and they know what they're doing, and they're smart, and they can win, right? And I hire them for cheaper because they're 18. They got nothing else going on, but I still pay
Well,
them way better than get anyplace else, right? But cheaper than I have to pay for a full blast, mature policy debate coach. Justin's in
I
high
feel
school
like
still. Justin's still in high school.
yay for child labor, yay.
I pay him the same amount I pay Felix. Felix is
I'm not
24.
arguing.
Felix is
Dude,
24.
if I could have gotten like an actual job like that in high school, I would have done it.
I
yeah,
mean,
that would make
frankly, Justin's probably more valuable to me. I pay him the same as Felix.
Hey, isn't that like a opportunity business that we can do? Exploit? Oh, I can.
Well,
That's a good idea.
at the point, I'm not exploiting them. I am paying Justin a full more than he would ever get anyplace else at this age, and
How
not
much are we
quite.
giving him anyways a week?
Exploit isn't a bad word. It just gets a bad rap.
Okay. Well, I'm not paying him by the week. I'm paying him by either the project or the hour. But I will give him 20 an hour or 25 an hour depending on the circumstances.
Oh, so you
And
don't give him $7 or something like the minimum wage limit.
no. I
You
give him,
actually give him $20. Yeah, that's pretty good
yeah.
for the hour, right?
Yeah, I give him $20 an hour for any sort of instructional stuff. If it's high octane stuff, I'll give him 25. I gave him a bonus after nationals because I give him a lot of the credit for getting Edmund and Connie safely through to
Oh, what?
semifinals,
Yeah.
top 4 in the country. Why? Because a high school debater, and he's going to be a senior, right? He's deeply connected in the debate community. So when he's like, I'm like, what are we going to do about this? He says, he just starts networking. And all of a sudden, he's got this crowd of like super badass lab leaders from Stanford and shit around him. And they're all coming up with ways to beat the evil empire. Let's help Strauss beat Kudos. Everybody fucking hates that woman now. So that's one of the reasons why he's so valuable. Also, I love the way he really owns the coaching thing. He's there hugging Edmund and going, "This is fucking good," like that ENFP quality
Yeah.
that pays off gold with middle schoolers. He's a high school senior. He is so just the kids can feel how fully bought into their success he is. That's valuable.
Yeah, it sounds like an ENFJ and the ENFP, like Pete Carroll, where he shows he supports the football players that he work on with him, and they raise to a higher level. Like when he started with the New England Patriots, and he got fired from his first 2 jobs because he didn't know how to implement it in the NFL level. So he went to USC, developed it with college students. Then he went back into the NFL and went to Seattle. In his first 2 years, first like what 4 or 5 years, he won a Super Bowl. I guess it was just the experience after he gained so much. But and like you said, it's like I think what's his name? The ENFJ guy.
Oh, ENFJ is Abraham, and the ENFP is Justin.
So yeah, no, they're just good motivators or um, well,
Yeah, so it's interesting that you say Pete Carroll's an ENFP or an ENFJ.
I think he's an ENFP.
Because he's if I had to have a coach that I would like to emulate or take things from and trust as with coaching advice for coaches, it is Pete Carroll. He said the one thing he says I think is 100% true. And I saw him in an interview and he's like, the thing about being the coach is you have to bring the energy. You define the energy of that team. If you aren't super hyped, why would you expect them to be super hyped? And I mean, it's so true. If you're not bought in 100% as a coach, then and he's like, but his point was sort of like a positive negative energy thing. Like, I try to bring positive competition energy. But my point is, I try to bring the energy that says, that enables them to want to win, to feel safe to fail, because you got to feel safe to fail some to win. And also to have to come to terms with being choice makers, which they've never had to come to terms with before. They have to choose to stay in debate class. When I called up Allison, her mom said I could make her go, basically. But when I talked to Allison, she knew I wasn't trying to make her go. I was asking her, begging her, basically.
Yeah, well, I was going to ask you, how's your retention level? Like, the people that dropped out, do you still offer them, hey, you know what, we liked, even though it didn't work out with you, we would still like to offer you
Nobody drops
discounted
out.
prices to come and
Nobody drops out.
develop your skills. And like,
No,
I think you said Edmund was the one that's helping you on the weekends.
no, Justin and Felix help me. But the point is, nobody drops out. What ends up happening is some people I kick some people out, and some parents, it's happened once. I had one parent last year, and Natalie might be the second one. I don't know. And it was over the same issue. And she got so mad at me because I called her out on her bullshit that she pulled her kid Jamila and took her to my direct competition, Nova. But what I said at the time, it proved to be true. Well, she's not going to win anything the rest of the year. And she didn't. And she would have won with me for sure. And the tournament, in which I wouldn't tell her mom who Jamila's partner was until after her mom told me whether Jamila was going, which her mom wanted to make a decision based on who her partner was. And I said,
Yeah, those are
doesn't
like
work like that.
or whatever. They want to guide the ship and what's it called, even though they're not running it.
Well, it's not just that they're not running it. As I explained to her, I said, you're trying to make a decision based on what you know. But your knowledge about this is so bad that any such decision is guaranteed to be the wrong one. So anyway, the point is, she left, and I was right. She didn't win anything the rest of the year. Because Nova lost. She got lost in the shuffle at Nova. I'm having headphone problems. Can somebody talk? There we go. Got it.
Well, there's solutions I see to do, but I don't want to speak about on this right now.
Well, I mean, the thing is, I don't have a problem, right? It's like,
Okay.
I have a situation, which is, at the moment, I'm really happy with the squad the way it is. I'm not really looking heavily to recruit more people, although I'm always looking for any talented middle schooler that I could spot and I could get their parents or them to at least just come and sit through class. The problem is I scare away the introverts sometimes. And that's a problem. That's a problem. Me scaring away the introverts. But I'm not sure it's a problem with a great solution, except for maybe the one that my partner suggests, which is work with them separately first before you put them in with the group. Because what ends up happening is they see the beastie kids, they see me being me, and then they think, this is too much for my introverted nature. What they don't understand is actually it's exactly what their introverted nature seeks. An opportunity to be extroverted that's safe because the parameters of it are defined. In a debate round,
Correct.
you're expected to be up there and be as extroverted as you can be. But the other good thing about debate as opposed to speech is that debate doesn't heavily prioritize speaking style. It's supposed to be only about the argumentation. So even if you have an opportunity to be as extroverted as you want, you don't have to be super extroverted to succeed, and it will reward the powers of your introverted judging function, particularly if it is either TI or NI.
Yeah, and that's a good, what's it called, to have ability to speak your mind and tool set.
Okay, well, do we have? This case turned into a fun thing for me, which is answering questions about debate. I don't know how interesting that is, but if anybody else has any other questions about debate or coaching debate or how the school works or anything like that, I would be more than happy to answer them.
What's the current level amount of students that you have attending?
Well,
Just
let's see.
rough estimate's fine. 25, 30. more?
Yeah, probably about 30. I've
Oh, that's
got
good.
12 in Walnut. I got about 20 in Alhambra, something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah. Most of them, almost all of them, are middle schoolers, but I have 2 high schoolers, and I've got some nice 5th graders and a really talented 4th grader that I let into PF, which I never do because then I can't cuss in PF class. That's mostly why I don't want 4th graders in there because I can't drop F
Uh,
bombs. I slipped up a couple times. I was like, "I'm sorry, 4th grader. I'm sorry. I don't mean to curse in front of you, you adorable little innocent 4th grade girl." It's like I just can't. It,
yeah.
it's awful. I feel awful because she's so little, but at the same time, I'm starting to get, I'm trying to coach. And for me, coaching is about like, you pissed me off, or something. I don't know. So, but yeah, it's cool. The enrollment's fine this year. It's a little lower than last year, but without Abraham in the mix, it's less labor costs. So it's about the same financially for me, probably.
Well, is Abraham the guy that left to Utah, or Abraham's the guy that got a job when he
Abraham's the
needed?
guy that got a job.
Okay.
And so he's fairly basically, and then got a job, and then managed to let his frustration cause him to not care, and then lose the couple of clients he had. Because this is the other reason. Because I had set things up to make it a special financial deal just for him. I was trying to get him. I told him, "I've got a 5-year plan here, Abraham. I'd like to see you like take over this business eventually." And the plan was I was going to have him set up to run his own speech classes under autonomy and get 80% of the total cut that autonomy got. So it meant he would be making almost the same as hourly right off the bat, even with just a few kids. But he would make it a lot more than that if he sit there and build the program up like he's perfectly capable of because he's an excellent coach. But that required too much math, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
He got frustrated more because I couldn't tell him exactly when I was going to cut him a check, even though I said it'll be in the next couple of weeks. When I get my cut, I'll cut you your cut.
Well, see, that's the whole deal. Like, it's the same thing with real estate. You know, when retailers try to sell someone's house, they get a 15% commission, and some retailers argue like, "Hey, why are you guys taking the not the retailers, but the
The
accounting
sellers
people?
or the county.
Uh, they get a cut as well, and out of that 15, I think it was like the people that were actually the sellers were only getting like 5%, maybe 7%, and what's it called? But so one of the guys just decided to say, hey, screw it, I'm gonna make my own business, do whatever, and I'll keep the whole 15 myself, and like just pay someone that I know to do the what's it called? Instead of working for like a 21st Century or one of those like nationwide retailers, they just like I said he just started finding the clients himself, like knocking on doors, trying to find people that they're willing to sell their house or wanted to. You know, it's like if they say no, who gives a shit? You just go on to the next one.
Right.
And like you're saying about Abraham, yeah, he screwed it up because he didn't see the potential of what he would have got. But like some people, they need to understand that you either work a job that you don't like doing, or you either work a job that you do like doing that might pay off in the long run.
It would have paid off for him in the short run compared to what he's got now.
Well, because even then, look at you could have established your schooling, your platform a little bit better, and then you would have still been competing in the same area for until you finalized it. But once you finalized it, nothing prevented him from going to San Francisco, going to San Diego, or wherever the hell he wanted to in the nation, or like
Right.
even just being like being able to compete against each other, your kids and his kids, bringing them together, like not during the main debates, but like ahead of time, so that they both have like a
He was going to coach speech, not debate. So it's a different thing. That's why he was there, right? Because I didn't want to have to coach any speech, and I wanted a really serious, good speech coach. Now, Abraham was somebody who came out of high school with a successful competition record. Not top notch, but that's because he's not a rich kid. He lives in a barrio, and so basically to be top notch in your credentials coming out of high school, you've got to have flown to various invitationals around the country. Now, if you live in El Monte, you didn't fly to various invitationals around the country.
Yeah.
So he was limited by that, but I could tell how good he was, and that's exactly the kind of person I'm looking for. A person who other people don't understand why they should hire him because they're hiring for all the wrong reasons, right? They hire because you have the best looking BA, or because you have the most shiny trophies in high school competition, or because of whatever else. But what I'm looking for is somebody not only who's really good at performing the event, but who's also really good at coaching the event. And those are not the same skills. So I saw he had them both, and that's why I brought him on. But the last few months have been just such a series of bumbling disasters. At the end, it wasn't even like I fired him. It was just like the only way to salvage all those clients was to take over the classes myself. And it wasn't because he was doing a bad job. It was because he was being flaky about it, because he didn't take it seriously, because he hadn't worked for a while. I can't even explain it. It was weird. Whatever, more money for me. Ready to end the
I was
topic?
thinking, what's that?
Are you ready to end the topic?
Are you recording right now?
Yeah.
Okay. I was just gonna say, if Saren does want to talk about it, he's been bringing up some of his own ideas with me, not too specifically, but I don't know if he's talked to you yet or anything.
Let's hear him. What's he got? If he's got ideas for TwFP, I totally want to hear him. Now, keep in mind, Saren, I may not follow any of this advice. Even if I agree, it's good advice. But I totally want to hear it, if that's what you're talking about.
I'm not one to put him on the spot or anything. It's just that he's mentioned some of his own ideas, and I was kind of trying to push him towards asking you for like login info and stuff. That way he can set up his own meeting times and whatnot if he has stuff he wants to talk about.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind having that. That would be a great aspect just to use it to show
Hey,
people.
Saren, you got my email?
What's that?
You got my email address?
I can send. I'll send him the login stuff.
Okay, well, just hey, Saren, email me at it's my full name, Eric Strauss, pushed together into one word, reversed. SuartsSire at gmail.com.
I just typed mine.
Yeah.
Or,
SSUARTS. I'll type it in the chat. SSR.
I have the login info. I can handle it.
Okay.
okay, well, there you go.
Either
Let's
way,
just do
I
that.
don't care. Whichever. But in case you don't have it, there's my email. And remember, I have the one rule that I want to make sure I say is don't delete any of my videos. If you want to put something on private or put something on unlisted, that's okay. I have no problem with that.
I just want to use the GoToMeeting. I don't really care about the YouTube part of aspect
okay,
of it.
fine. I just saying,
Yeah, what I was gonna say is that I think earlier today we Ken had a meeting with the Basement Overlord, a little date that they planned together. I don't know how that went. And it lasted for like an hour or two.
Yeah, the footage was an hour and a half. And it was
Did
the
you
whole
guys
thing.
record it?
Yeah, I'm
Okay,
uploading
cool.
it right now.
Okay, cool. I'll watch it later then.
And listen, also, this is the deal with the GoToMeeting rooms is we currently have two Talking with Famous People meeting rooms. This one and the one that's supposed to be kept open by a bot at all times. That's going to be the public room that is linked to on the homepage of talkingwithfamouspeople.com. It says, our GoToMeeting room's always open, and we're trying to set it up so that it's always being filmed by the server, so that nobody has to film anything. But of course, it's tricky because we'll have to get it to cut it into certain lengths, and it's not an ideal solution. But I do want to have that open room and see how that goes. And if it starts spitting at me like hour-long chunks of random footage of empty room and then somebody in there like whistling or whatever. I don't know. Maybe I'll do something with it. Maybe I'll edit some highlights and do a little show of like what happened yesterday
Yeah,
in this
because
GTM room.
that's what's happened. What happened today? JC and a few others stayed after Ken left and Lord left, and I jumped on and I was like chatting with them for a bit, and I was like, you know what? I'll leave my computer on, but I'm not going to be on because I have other shit to do. And a few people came on, like I think who was it? Someone was playing their guitar and singing. Then another person, they're just chatting, like 3, 4, 5 people. Then someone came in and asked me about you to get in contact with you and tell you to delete their videos if possible.
That's David Dosh. Yeah.
And it was no, I think it was no, let me post the link right now so you can see it. What
Okay.
she was asking for.
She? Okay, it wasn't David Dosh then.
Why does Dosh went off?
Oh, he wants me to put it on private because his students found it. He's a debate coach too. He's still in college, but his credentials are way better than like Abraham's because he did fly all over the country. He did go to TOC. He did all that shit, you know. So he's a debate coach right now, and his students found it, and he's like being all prissy about it.
He's pulling a Damon Gray.
He's pulling
Most likely.
a prissy pants McPrissertons. He's pulling, but I took him down for him because I said, of course, anything for you, anytime, Josh. You know that. And I don't like it. So I texted him. So, I took him down. Whatever. And then he texted me and he said he was sorry. I said, I didn't like to do this either. I said, Josh, I hate to give unsolicited advice, but you should never apologize if you haven't done something wrong. You didn't do anything wrong. I used to say I don't like your warrant here that, oh, well, the kids are going to see it, so I have to take it down. Fuck those people. If they come up to you and say, like, oh, I don't like the fact you were smoking that video, you have 2 middle fingers. What's the problem?
Like, see, that's where I was wondering, like, if it's a hindrance to your schooling, or like, do parents pull their kids out if they don't like what you see they see on the YouTube or whatever? But it's like, if they're seeing progress with their kids' development, I don't think they'll care. But at the same time, like, if it's a religious family versus a non-religious family, they want their kids to be smarter or whatever.
You'd be surprised. I've got a couple of really religious kids. Their parents, it's weird because with Chinese kids, they have their kids in lots of different little things usually.
That's what I like about Chinese people and Asian people in general. They do other programs after school to help develop their kids skills.
Right. But so as a consequence, they know what the level of quality is available out there. They've had their kids in lots of different classes with lots of different teachers. And they know what they normally get when they pay tuition for regular classes. And they all know within a couple of weeks that they get way, way more. Even though my tuition is a lot more expensive than a normal after school maybe, but they get way, way more out of this class, quote unquote, they signed up for than any other class their kids have ever taken before. Because I tell them, oh yeah, I know you signed up for Sunday 1 to 4, but I'd like your kid to come to the Saturday 9 to noon slot, the Sunday 10 to 12 slot, the Sunday 1 to 4 slot, the Sunday 5 to 8 slot. I'd like your kid to also come to the Wednesday 4 to 8 slot. And we'll be having extra GoToMeeting sessions on Tuesdays sometimes and Thursdays if we're getting close to a term and I feel like people aren't good enough yet. So be prepared to cancel all your kids' other activities. But how much more am I going to have to pay for this? It's all included in my tuition because I don't fucking care about that. I want your kid to win. Because why? Because I want to win. It's the only way I can win is if your kid wins. Not maybe your kid, but some of these kids anyway.
Is that right?
Oh, Irie?
Yeah, she had commented on one video like, "Oh, I didn't know you were recording."
What the fuck does she think this is? I mean, it's like, He goes into a restaurant, sits down, orders a meal, and goes, "You're serving food to me? What? What in the world?" Okay, Irie, I'll delete your video. I'm not going to delete it, actually. I'll put it on private, or I'll put it on unlisted. But,
Yeah, that's what you should do. You should probably put it on like private until she agrees. Oh, hey, you know what? If you want, I'm not. To the people that actually follow,
I don't
talking
need
to
her to
famous
agree to
people.
anything.
Okay, you're right.
It doesn't matter. It's like I could say no, but I have no reason to say no. I have no problem. I don't want to force people to have media of them that they don't like up there. That's fine. But what I'm saying is, what she did it there is she's trying to be like, how can I? That's fine. You don't even have to. Just be like, I'm sorry. I know you don't have to, but will you please delete it? That's all you have to say to me ever. As long as we acknowledge I don't have to, then I will no problem doing it. This is something
Darren.
people in life have often not seemed to understand about me. No, it's not the thing you're asking me to do that I have a problem with. It's
Yeah,
the
because
reason you're giving me.
I was just telling her, I don't know if he's flexible enough, but like you're not an ENTJ that like, oh, this is my business, blah blah blah. I don't care. So if that's your personality, that's cool. Like
Yeah.
if they don't want it on, you'll take it off because, like you said, your initial goal was just to upload the data to YouTube or Google so that you can store it on the cloud and not store it on your shit and not having to worry about it, a hard drive, whatever, and being able to access it on your phone or wherever the hell you're at on hand. And that's a really good idea. And that's actually it's kind of motivated me to start doing redo all my archiving again and upload all my files to a cloud service as well.
Cool. I am going to.
Hold on. The thing I was going to ask Darren is, can you private message me your email? That way I can send you the login info.
Sure, I don't care. I'll type it in on the chat again.
I guess I'll put it on private. Fine. I delete her playlist too. Okay, that one's. I don't know. She said videos. There's more than one of them. I guess there probably is more than one of them. I don't know what the other one is. All right. Well, whatever. I'll deal with the other one later if I find it. So yeah. All right. I think that this is the end of the debate video, maybe. So hope you enjoyed it. It was a little aimless, but it was not without words. So thanks for watching.